Welcome back to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. It's always fun to chat with Adam Caplan here on the show, especially when I get to watch all of the NFL games. I didn't think that was going to happen yesterday. My son had a travel baseball game, and these people were keeping us at the park raining and raining and raining and raining for like 3 hours before they let us go. But right on time to be able to get home and catch from about 1:30 Eastern all the way through the 4 p.m. game. So I'm very well schooled to drill Adam Caplan on what happened in the NFL yesterday and get his thoughts. Adam, thanks again for coming on NewsWire. Great to catch up with you on a high-scoring, fun day in the NFL. Not every week, but last week for sure.
Yeah, the overs, I know the bettors were like, what in the world? Because Pharrell and I always talk about it. Like the first 3 to 4 weeks, unders are the big play. The other thing that I noticed is, man, these dogs of 7.5 or more,
crazy.
they're covering. And the clip is
Winning.
ridiculous. I mean, I said, Scott was kind of surprised. I'm like, take the Cardinals of the 7.5. I said, listen, the Niners we're probably going to talk about the Niners today. They're not playing great football. They were awesome week 1 against the Jets at home, but they've been very inconsistent. They've got issues on defense. It's funny with the Niners, Greg, as we go over what's happened so far, particularly week 5. If you looked at where the Niners are ranked statistically, offense, defense, you go, wow, how are they not 5-0, 4-1? It's a play here. It's a play there. It's a key mistake at an important time. Then they lose their kicker, Jake Moody, who's a right-footed kicker. He's got a right high ankle sprain, so he's week to week. That absolutely positively impacted that game. Now, you couldn't predict that, but this has been a weird season, okay? This has been, I heard you talking earlier on NewsWire about the Vikings. You can't predict that stuff. That's the beauty of the National Football League, and the NFL loves it, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Also, I cannot understate taking away 300 catches the last 3 or 4 years from Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield for San Francisco too. It's like, oh, Jordan Mason, he's so good. Yes, he is, but he ain't catching passes. This is a big element of their game that's been completely removed. The LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk, and all. Just remove those guys, put in a runner. It ain't the same. But by the way, credit to the Cardinals. I thought they were dead in the water after that block kick back for a touchdown. Yeah. They came all the way back and they won that game. Now, meanwhile, so much attention on Davante Adams here. I guess for good reason, but it's like every team, Adam, that I hear that is potentially going to make a push for this guy, to me, seems like the wrong team. To me, it's like the Chiefs, okay, sure, but you mentioned Pittsburgh, yuck. The Jets, yuck. I don't think he's going to change those teams around. Maybe I'm off with this. I don't know. What do you think?
All right, so let's start with the Steelers. The Steelers have a major prominent receiver opposite George Pickens. Okay, they were very high in on the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes. They kind of won it, but the deal, as you know, did not get completed. But it was very close to being completed. But they were looking for a younger receiver. Okay, Ayuk is significantly younger than Davante Adams. But the reason why I want to talk about Adams, in addition to obviously what's going on with him, is that if he goes to the right team, and I think that's what you're alluding to. Let's say he goes to the Jets. Okay. I know the Jets have had some problems in their passing game, okay? Garrett Wilson's terrific. He had his best game of the season yesterday. And Allen Lazard has kind of revived his career now. He would have been cut if not for the $10 million that's fully guaranteed this season. So he's back. He's doing a good job, but you'd rather have him as a backup. They need to find someone to take attention away from Garrett Wilson. The Jets were in on Davante Adams at the trade deadline last year. They could not make it work. That was actually around the time that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler were fired, the head coach and the general manager. So that deal did not get completed, but they're still in on it. They're very much in on it right now. The trade deadline, we should mention, people are acting like this trade's happening right now. It doesn't have to get done now. Teams have till November 5th, that Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, to complete a deal. So, look, the Raiders, I can tell you from talking to them leading up to the season, they never thought about trading Davante Adams. Like, this was not on the radar. They wanted to see, Craig, what is this team going to look like mid-season? And then, unfortunately, you have the Pierce situation favoring the tweet. Adams feels hurt. He doesn't want to be there, so he's asked for a trade. But on your point, before we move on here, on New Orleans, that's a team that's kind of strange to me. Yes, we know about him and Derek Carr being college teammates and also being reunited with the Raiders. They're another team that, yes, they could use a guy like Davante Adams, make Rashid Shaheed, who's terrific as an explosive guy, as their third receiver. But that's really not their issue. Their issue is on their offensive line. They need more pass rushing help. It is interesting, though. They're not that was not the team that I thought would come in on it, but they're very much in on it.
Yeah. No, to me, it's compelling as we go down to the wire with it. And again, it's going to happen if it does happen in the next couple of weeks. Sam, we're going to skip ahead here because Adam and I are going to disagree here. I think the Washington Commanders are one of the best bets to win it all, or at the very least win the NFC. I've been saying this here on the show for weeks. Nothing has changed my mind. They have the biggest impact player from one year to the next in their quarterback. They have an elite wide receiver. They have an elite running back. They have a really good backup running back. Their offensive line is good. I know their defense has been shaky, and I know that Adam's going to say they've played no one this season. But welcome to the NFL, where that doesn't matter to me anymore. It doesn't matter to me. And by the way, the Commanders, I'm not asking them to win it all. I'm a smart bettor. They just need to get there, and then I take the other side, make half my money. Their odds are insane. They used to be plus 400 to make the playoffs, plus 300, plus 200. Now it's minus money. What am I missing here?
By the way, well, first of all, if you look at the books before the season started with the futures numbers, they were 6.5, 6 or 6.5, depending on which book you took. And I thought, I said to Pharrell, I'm like, oh, they're going to get 7, but they're not get much more than that. Now, yeah, are they better than I thought? Of course. Elite quarterback play could take very average talent and rise everybody up. Now, McLaurin's not average. He's a good football player. They've got nothing really, next to nothing out of that other receiver spot. And then Zach Ertz is an older tight end. Zach's there for leadership. He knows Cliff Kingsbury from their days with Arizona. Brian Robinson's a good running back. You're right. And their offensive line, I do want to say one thing. It's very average. The coaching is good. They're getting good coaching from Bobby Johnson, their line coach, coming from the Giants. But they've kind of overachieved. Let's call it like it is. Gales has taken them up. Look, that division's not very good, and they could very well win it over the Eagles and the Cowboys. They're not a Super Bowl team. I'm just telling you, they're not a Super Bowl team.
Save that clip. Save that for me. Save that for me later on.
Save it. I'm good.
I think they're fantastic here. But Daniels is the rookie of the year, right? Like we can say that.
Yeah. He would be. And I was super high on him before the draft. Yeah, he's been an unbelievable story development. He sees it. He processes so well. He's so mature, and he's so far ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I think he should. He's not going to win MVP, but I'd love to see him in that conversation too. All right, Adam, as always, fantastic stuff. We'll see you soon.
You got it.